I was mute. Thank you, everybody. You were on mute. How often does that happen around here? This is Jim Hacking, and this is the Immigration Answer Show, episode number 825. I'll be here for the next hour trying to answer your questions with my microphone on. I was supposed to have a guest, but I don't see her in the waiting room. I'm going to go ahead and just get started, seeing as that is the case. We'll be taking questions live from YouTube and live on Facebook. Everyone's going to leave me lots of comments on this one. I am not mute anymore, so hopefully you guys can hear me. Somebody let me know in the comments that you can hear me. Just let me know for sure. I assume on TikTok they can hear me because that mic is always on. But people on YouTube, okay, Dammy says all good now. Alejandro is here. Hello. Alejandro, you're on mute. I was on mute. Now you're on mute. I love people get on the waiting room and then they're not ready when it's time to go. So there goes Alejandro. Let's go to Cinco de Mayo +1. Hello.
Hello, sir. You're on mute too.
Good morning. How can I help you?
Good morning. First time over here. Just found the channel a couple days ago, so happy to be here.
Awesome.
Let me know if I'm doing something wrong. Just let me know.
It's all good.
I'm an American and Mexican citizen, and my wife is a Mexican citizen. We got married back in December of last year, and we're just getting into the whole immigration stuff. I consulted with a lawyer, and they said that the best way to get her to come over here would be to use her tourist visa and then do the adjustment of status over here. But from what I see on your videos, that may not be the best idea. Mm-hmm. So what are your thoughts on that?
So if someone from Mexico or anywhere else comes to the United States on a tourist visa with the intention of applying for a green card, mm-hmm. in other words, having immigrant intent, that gets them in trouble. So the lawyer probably didn't say it exactly like that. That might have been the option that you landed on, that you thought about the most attractive, but I would think of things a little differently. I would just put all the decision making to the side, have your spouse or fiance, whichever they are, come visit. And then if you guys decide to get married and get started later on down the line after she's been here for a while, then have those conversations and have those intentions. But if she comes through with texts on her phone that say, "Oh, I can't wait to get there and get married," and rush past everybody else waiting in line in Ciudad Juarez, that would be bad.
Okay. So we are already married, so I don't know if that changes the situation in terms of
does she have a tourist visa?
Yes, she does.
Okay, and has she used it before?
Yeah, she's had it since a little kid, and her newest renovation was about a year ago.
Yeah, so I would just have her come visit, hang out for a bit, and then after she's been here a couple months, call me back and we can talk.
Okay, sounds good. And then in that kind of lines, would it be an issue when she comes in July for a visit, now that we're married?
Yeah, I mean, they might not let her in just because they might think she's trying to come and jump on the in line. So she's got to answer everything truthfully. If they ask her, who are you coming to see, say her husband. Don't say friends or family. Don't be too cute. You just got to be honest.
Gotcha. Okay. And one last question. When we got married in Mexico, my citizenship on the actual marriage certificate comes up as Mexican citizen since I have the dual nationality. Should we work on getting that changed to reflect American citizen?
Where does it say that?
On the marriage certificate.
Oh, no, that's okay. As long as you have a U.S. passport, it doesn't matter.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Well, thank you very much, sir.
Thanks for the call. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. All right. Still don't see our guest. I was hoping she'd get in the waiting room early. She's not here, but she did just accept here she is. So, all right. So just give me 1 second. We got technical difficulties. We've got audio off. Jim is just running a stellar show. Thank you for bearing with us. Let me take Bobson, and then we'll go from there. Hi, Bobson. Bobson, are you there? Hello, Bobson. Boy, we're having some great television today. There goes Bobson. All right, let's go to FMC. Hello. FMC, are you there? What is going on? We are not having success. Let's see what's going on TikTok. TikTok's always there. I went for my marriage-based interview on the 29th, and my case is still actively reviewed. Is there something wrong? Oh, no, I don't think so. I don't think you can read too much into it. Those officers have a lot to do, a lot to worry about, lots of things. So, still no, she's not getting in. Yeah, no one's ready today, Dammy. Dammy's always ready. Don't mess with Dammy. She's one tough Canadian, and she's always ready. All right, let's go back to Alejandro. Looks like they're back. Hello.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Hacking.
How are you?
Great, and yourself? I'm so happy to be selected. I've always seen your program, and I'm so happy to be here.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Okay, Mr. Hacking. So, I am a green card holder. I got my I-751 accepted last year, so I got a lot of green card left in my status. But I'm Venezuelan, and I was planning to go for a trip to Buenos Aires this last on June. And although I have not had any problems or issues with the law or anything like that, I'm always good up on my taxes. I'm trying to be a good citizen here. Although I'm not a citizen, I'm trying to be a good resident. I'm not sure if I should go out on an international trip because I'm not certain what's going to happen to me whenever I come back.
So my advice, especially being Venezuelan, is I would not leave the United States until I get my citizenship. And I'd also be very careful about saying I'm trying to be a good citizen. You caught yourself, so that was good. But yeah. I would not leave until I get my citizenship.
Okay, thank you so much. That was my question.
All right, great. Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Alejandro. Yeah, for sure. All right, let's go to H-1B layoff and NIW. Hello.
Hello, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. And how are you too?
Great.
Thank you for taking my call. I called earlier on the show in February, and I asked a few questions. But currently now, my family has a bit of a challenge. If I'll give you a background, probably to help you maybe remember, I know you speak with a lot of people. So
Sure,
we came in January, mid-January to be specific. We came in on H-1B. My husband came in on H-1B, and myself and the kids were on H-4. And prior to that, we had an EB2 NIW approval. And while we had gone past the NVC stage and we were already documentarily qualified, but because of the priority date, we had not yet been invited for an interview. So while waiting, my husband got a job with a research institute here, and then they were willing to sponsor.
Oh, where'd she go? Oh my gosh, we're having big time technical difficulties. All right, let's go to PK. Penalty kick. Hello.
Hi, Jim. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. Thanks for accepting me, and thanks for the good work you're doing. So, two quick questions. Basically, my wife came in on a B1B2 visa in March 2020, and we got married in January 2021. So that was about 6-7 months after. Now, after filing the I-130, the USCIS sent a letter for consular processing. But a week later, they also sent an interview letter for processing within the States. And we chose the interview letter for processing within the state. Was that a mistake?
You chose what?
We chose to the interview letter because they sent both.
Okay, so are you the petitioner or the beneficiary?
I'm the petitioner.
And your spouse is where? In the United States?
Yes.
When you filed the I-130, where was your spouse?
In the United States.
And so when they asked you, are you going to adjust status or consular process, what did you say?
We said we're going to adjust status.
Okay, then what do you think the mistake is?
Because they sent us a letter saying visa, because her kids were back home and we wanted to bring them. And they sent letters saying visa numbers are ready, blah, blah, blah. But then we're having difficulty now because the adjustment of status has been delayed for more than 2 years.
Okay, so where do the kids fall into this? You filed separate I-130s for kids?
Yeah, yes. When we filed the I-130, we put their kid's name on it. I was a green card holder then, so we put their kid's name on it. But afterwards, they sent the letter for the interview. We did. It was I-130 was approved, and we wanted to do the kids follow to join. That did not work out. We applied for the adjustment of status, and she's just been given an extension on the 2-year green card, and it's been 2 years.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay. So you are a U.S. citizen. You're married to a conditional green card holder. When was the start date of her green card?
That was in 2021, thereabout.
And you filed a 751?
Yeah, filed 751 in 2023, 22 or 2023.
And has your spouse filed an N-400?
Yes, since then I've become a citizen. I'm the petitioner. Since then I've become a citizen.
No, but your wife has had her green card for a long time, right? Oh, but you just became. When did you become a citizen?
Last year, somewhere. Well, I voted, so it was somewhere just before voting. Yeah.
Okay, and so you've been a citizen. So okay, so she has to wait the 5 years to naturalize. What after you became a citizen? Did you file separate I-130s for the children?
No, because hers was pending, and we had no decision on hers.
Yeah. Right, but now you're a citizen, so you have to file separate I-130s for those kids now that you're a U.S. citizen.
Okay, so what about hers? That's 2 years? I mean, no decision with the extension. Is that too long, or that's?
No, it's like 2 years and 4 months now.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Do you understand everything I was saying?
I think I do.
Okay, so basically what needs to happen is once you have your citizenship for 3 years, your wife could apply for citizenship, or once she has her 5 years as a green card holder, she can apply for citizenship.
Okay.
10-year green card, but she has to have a green card for 3 years and be married to a U.S. citizen for 3 years. But she's only been married to a U.S. citizen since you naturalized.
Even though she does not have the 10-year green card?
Yeah.
Okay. So we shouldn't worry about the fact that there's no.
The only thing I'd worry about now is getting I-130s on file for those kids. How old are they?
11 and 6.
Yeah, so hurry up, get those things on file.
Okay. All right, got you. Okay.
Bye, PK.
I appreciate you.
Yep. All right. Our guest is here. It looks like her. Oh, I don't know what's going on with her camera though. What's going on? Let me see. She sent me some messages. It's just not working. Man. Yeah, it's just timing out. All right, we'll just keep going. Chiquita, if you turn off your camera, I'll call you up after I call Pastor Jacob. Pastor Jacob, hello.
Hello, Jim. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I wanna thank you for everything that you do for this community, and I can tell you, I'm sorry. I can tell you, I've been praying for you every day because I see your courage in everything that you do. And
Thank you.
I see how this administration is not about helping people. It's not about the rule of law, anything like that. But it's about going after people that helping people.
Yeah.
But I see you don't back down. You still have the courage to stand up for this, and I appreciate you. So the question that I will ask you, it's not about any type of forms, anything like that.
Okay.
To me, I feel like it's if they cannot do mass deportation, they may be trying to go after advocates, or they may try to do something crazy. What do you think? People like me, for example, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm a community activist, helping people. How should people carry themselves? What should we do to not being part of the trap? Because it seems like I feel like they're trying to trap people and to try to get people in trouble for something that otherwise they're helping the immigrant community.
This is such a great question, and I'm so glad you called, Pastor, and I'm so glad that you're doing the community work that you're doing. And thank you for praying for me. I need to make a video about this because this is sort of like the judge in Wisconsin that they're coming after. And I know that they're starting to, they haven't come after lawyers yet, but they are trying to say that we're like helping, like that Thomas Homan is a nut. And he was complaining about AOC having Know Your Rights webinars on what undocumented immigrants need to know. But he's like, we should all just roll over and do what they want us to do. And that if we don't, then they're going to come get us. Right. So I think your question is very well taken. I would like, if it's okay with you, if I can have your permission to add this to my list of things to make an actual video about, so that I can,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I can think it through. And because I mean, you're right. I like to fight, but I also don't want to say anything that's going to get anybody in trouble, including myself. But, I think that it's something that's going to take a thoughtful answer. And actually, I have to do a presentation to a bunch of international student advisors on Thursday. And the whole topic is, what do regular people have to do when ICE comes a knocking, right?
Yes.
So if you give me a couple days, I think I'll have a much better answer for you. So I'll talk it through on the show maybe next week, and I'll also make a video about it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Okay. Thanks, Jacob. Have a great day.
Thank you.
All right. What a great question. All right. And we certainly thank him for his prayers and his efforts. All right. I'm going to go to Chiquita next. Hello, Chiquita.
Hello. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Great. I have a question. My husband, he's trying to get his green card. So when he went into the USC embassy, they stated that when he did turn all his paperwork, they stated that he was married in Jamaica, which he has never been married.
Yeah.
He's only been married here in America to me.
Yeah.
So he had this he sent some paperwork over to Jamaica, and they sent something back over saying that he's never been married nowhere into Jamaica and stuff like that. So what will he have to do next?
Okay. So did he ever apply for a visit visa to the United States before he came this last time?
When he came here he came on a work permit.
Okay. Well, when he got so what we need to know, where I think this is coming from, is that sometimes people who want to come to the United States on a visit visa or a work visa, they hire somebody in Jamaica near the embassy who says, I can help you get a work visa to the United States, or I can help you get a visit visa to the United States. Do you know if he ever hired someone like that?
I don't know how did he get it, but I know he came on a visa work permit. It was a visa one. I don't have it with me because I'm at work now.
It's okay.
But when he did come, he was over here working in the U.S. and everything. So we met maybe like 2 or 3 years, and then we ended up married.
See, listen, I'm trying to explain to you what happened. So what probably happened is he probably happened to hire somebody in Jamaica who said, I will help you get your work visa. And what these people do is they know that the embassy is 1,000 times more likely to approve the work visa or the visit visa if the person is married. So they just make up a fake spouse and they say, oh, yeah.
Yeah, because he said he didn't even know the lady name, whoever name they had on the thing.
Right. So if I had to guess, based on all my experience talking to people on this show and cases that we've handled, is that somewhere there's a form that your husband signed, maybe electronically, that said, oh yeah, give me this visit visa or give me this work visa to the United States. And if you do, I'll come back because I have to come back to my wife, but who turns out to be an imaginary wife, if that makes sense. So if that's true, then the way that they screw you is they say, well, show us that you're divorced to this made up Jamaican lady, which of course is impossible. So you guys need a lawyer because you're going to have to figure out what was said, where they're coming from, and why they say he said he was married. And then you're going to have to need a waiver. You're going to have to show if he gets deported, it's going to be a big hardship. It's a big old mess now.
Okay. So, because we did get something from Jamaica stating that he was nowhere married, nowhere over there, nowhere in files.
Yeah. So I think that it doesn't matter what Jamaica says. It's all about what he through this person told them. So if you want to have him call me, I can talk to him about it. Or more importantly, I would go back and try to find out, how did you get that work visa in the United States? And do you have any paperwork related to that? Because we need to check it to see if he said he was married, even though it probably wasn't even him. It was probably the person that helped him. Okay.
Okay. And I could just use this number here to call you?
Yeah. Or email us info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Chiquita. Okay. Bye. All right. Let's go to JAS. Hello.
Hey, Jim.
How are you?
Good. You hear me?
I hear you just fine.
All right. I'm a U.S. citizen, and my wife is a Venezuelan who entered without inspection in December of 21. We were married in September of 24. I was going to file an I-130, but was advised not to due to risk of my wife being detained at the interview. Currently, her A number does not show up in the system, but she's being monitored by ICE with monthly visits. Do you think we should file the I-130?
Well, the reason you wouldn't file the I-130 is if they didn't already know that she's here. But since they already know she's here, I see little downside to filing the I-130.
Okay. And on the, would we put the consular or the adjust status? What is the best?
She'll have to consular process, and she probably needs a lawyer.
All right, great. Thanks.
Thanks. See ya.
Take care.
All right, JAS. That was JAS. You know, JAS is sometimes the abbreviation for James. Wait, did I tell you guys I figured something out? So lay this on me. Tell me if this is right, all my Spanish-speaking brothers and sisters. So I just learned about Santiago, that sometimes people call Santiago Jimmy. And I was like, why do they call Santiago Jimmy? And then I found out that Santiago is Saint Iago. And then somebody said, that's Saint James. Is that true? Do you guys know anybody named Santiago that they call Jimmy? So, you know, one of my favorite shows is Bosch, Harry Bosch. And there's a detective on there who's played by this great actor, Paul Calderon. Oh my God, he's the best. He was in Carlito's Way, and he's Santiago, and they call him Jimmy. Kevin says not true. Okay, good. I need to know about this because I just saw Iago on Broadway in Othello, so I need to know if this is all true or wrong. So somebody lay it on me. Let me know if that's true or not. All right, Princess Lizzie's got the red exclamation points. The princess is asking, hello, princess, wants to know. I read yesterday that USCIS is offering self-deportation and $1,000 to leave the country. Please, can we discuss on the show? Okay. What would you like to discuss? Here's what I'll say. They're full of shit. Don't listen to them. Don't think that these are not serious people. These are the same people that told you that you're going to have a gold card instead of a gold green card. We can watch this and see if this happens, but of course, if you leave the United States, you could get ordered deported in absentia, and or you could get a 10-year bar from being here out of status. So, as with anything, check with an immigration lawyer before you take the government up on these generous offers. So, it's okay. So, Lizzie, I didn't really spend much time thinking about this. I'll make a video on this. So I got some videos to make. But these are not serious people. This is not a serious offer. So the 1,000 reward for deporting yourself, and activists. Okay. Thanks, Lizzie. Thanks for that. All right. So Tiago is James. What? This is great, Tiago, because that's so great, because you guys know I really like to be called Tio. So I could be Tio Tiago. How about that? Does anybody have a Tio Tiago? Is that a real thing? I don't know. I love this. This is making me happy. Now I just got to get invited to a damn quinceanera and I'll be all set. All right. Let's go to J3. Hello. J3, you're on mute.
Hey, hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, I have a question. Thank you for picking my call. I have a question. I submitted my 751 1 year and 8 months. Then I submitted my N400 11 months ago. I've not received any interview yet. It's delayed. How long will it take for me to get the interview? Or
What?
can you
Where?
hear me?
Yeah. If you have an interview, on your N400, where would that be?
It will be North Carolina in Raleigh, around Raleigh, Durham.
Okay. So your 751's been pending for like 23 months and your N400 11 months?
No, N400 is 11 months. The other one is 1 year and 8 months.
Yeah. You're just chilling. I would wait. It's probably going to be another couple months and you'll get an interview on both.
Okay. Thank you for that. That's it.
Bye. All right. I feel very discombobulated today. I don't know why. I'm sorry, everybody. The other day I went to see my massage lady and she said, "You look like you got those stars and birds going around your head." I feel like that again today. Like I got the stars and birds going around my head. Oh, we got some questions on TikTok. I-130 is pending. Do we need to register? If the lawyer, if it's an I-130 and a 45, you wouldn't need to register. Well, actually, you might have to register. It depends on the situation. So your lawyer hasn't answered you because it's probably complicated, and you need to hit up your lawyer in writing. Don't ask him by phone. Ask him in writing. What can be done about a 1.5 year wait for a spouse interview in Cairo? If you haven't had the interview, there's not much you can do. You just got to keep waiting. All right. So let's go to Colleen. Hello.
That's you.
Hi.
Oh, we got a side character. Hi, Colleen and side character.
Hello. Yeah, we're
Shut off your phone.
I don't know where my phone is.
Yeah, it sounds like you're in a tunnel or something.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Let me sort that. Here, you talk to Tim.
Sorry. I can't find my phone. I don't know.
I've got this.
All right, we'll come back in a minute, okay? You guys be ready.
I think he's doing it. I think it is.
All right. Ashley, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I have a question. My husband and I, he's in Jamaica. I'm here. He doesn't have a visitor visa or anything like that. I did my I-130 or the I-130 January. My receipt date is. It's still pending, and I want to know if it's too late to do the I-40 the K3.
It doesn't do you any good. The
Okay.
State Department doesn't process it. K3's, that's sort of an urban myth on the internet that speeds things up, but it doesn't.
Okay, so do we have to wait just the full 16 months that they say, or do
Yeah,
you know if it's going faster?
it's not. It's right around 14 to 16 months.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Oh, looks like H-1B layoff and EB-2 NIW is back. All right. Sorry, I don't know what happened before.
Thank you, sir. I guess it was the internet issues.
Okay.
So I was trying to say that early this year we came in on H-1B. My husband was hired by a research institute, one of the national research institutes, to be precise. But on Friday, unfortunately, as a result of all this reduction in force and I'm sorry, I'm a bit emotional. As a result of all this reduction in force and then layoffs, his employment was terminated. And we've only been here briefly for like about 3 months. And since that Friday, it seems everything is turning upside down. We're trying to figure out the options that we have, what we can do, and where to go from here. What options do we have? We want to do everything right. We don't want to do the wrong things, and we don't want to get into any form of trouble.
So the I-140 that was filed, was that an NIW or was it with an employer?
It was a national interest waiver.
Okay. And what's the priority date on that national interest waiver?
July 10, 2023.
July 10th, 2023. Okay. And what country is your spouse from?
We're both from Nigeria.
Okay. And so it's just you and your spouse?
No, myself, him, and 3 kids. We have 3 children between the ages of 6 and 2. But we filed our consular processing we did while we were in Korea, because he was working as an assistant professor in Korea before we got this opportunity and moved here in January.
On an H-1B?
Yes, sir.
And then you and the kids are on H-4s?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when did you enter the United States?
18th of January, 2025.
Right. Has anybody filed, are there any 485s on file for any of you?
No, sir, because at the time we came in, they stopped accepting adjustment of status in February. So we could not file for adjustment of status.
Who stopped filing?
The bulletin did not allow for filing for adjustment of status based on Table B anymore.
Okay. Well, you're current on A and B right now, right?
No, we are not current on, or we are current on B, not A. Currently A is June 22nd, 2023.
You said B is or A is? A is.
Right. A is 22 years June, and B is August 1st.
And what are you guys?
We are July 10.
Of 2023.
Yes, sir.
I gotcha. Okay. All right. So, and when did he get laid off by the employer?
Just this Friday, on Friday.
Like 3 days ago?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, what's the plan there? Put immigration to the side. What's the plan?
Since Friday we started applying for lots of job opportunities.
Yeah.
Probably we could be able to, if somehow we are able to get another employer to transfer to. We are seriously searching for other opportunities.
Was the employer that let him go a university, or was it an industry company like a?
Is that a National Institute of Health? Is a federal agency.
So this is because of stupid Trump stuff?
Yes, sir. Unfortunately, yes.
Cutting the funding and all that stuff.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question, and I don't want to sound insensitive, but what's making you so upset right now?
It's because we're figuring out what do we have to do. We don't want to get into trouble. We have young children. Sure. We left everything behind. It was just because we wanted a better opportunity for our children that we tried to do things and moved all the way, and we're just trying to settle in. So it's a lot of confusion and chaos right now.
Okay, so let's try to walk that back. First of all, let's take a deep breath. Deep breath. I know this is upsetting, and I know it's probably been very stressful. And like you said, since Friday, everything's been upside down. I totally get that. Okay, that's completely legitimate. Okay,
Yes, sir.
let's start with some things that we know. Okay,
Yes, sir.
one thing we know is that your husband is pretty kick-ass, and he got a natural interest waiver approved from overseas, right?
Yes, sir.
So you understand that's pretty amazing.
Yes, sir.
And we also know that even if you have to leave, you're going to be able to come back, right?
Yes, sir.
Unless, of course, they come up with putting Nigeria on a banned country list, right? So
Yes, sir.
how realistic do we think it is that your husband will be able to find a job, say, in the next 2 months?
We are trying to. We're hopeful. We've had one positive response, but we are trying to apply as much as possible. One thing they did was to give us the option of a 30 days leave without pay.
The NIH?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, did he take him up on that?
We have not filled the form yet. It's just we are just looking at it. We don't know if it's a right step to take or not.
Okay. So here's what I would say. You would agree, I think, that these next few months are going to sort of impact your lives for a really long time, right?
Yes, sir.
So I think that this is so much more important to talk about, like with like details and dates and timelines, and I would be willing to have you meet with one of our attorneys who does a lot of our employment stuff, and I would do it myself, but I'm traveling a ton in the next 3 weeks. You could talk to Andrew and we wouldn't charge you anything, just to see what your options are, just to try to make you feel better. But I think the whole thing is going to come down to whether he can get a job or not. If he can't, then you're going to have to leave. I mean, in theory, you could file for a change of status, and then try to adjust out of that. But that carries its own problems.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Why don't you send an email? Why don't you do a whole timeline for me, or you and your husband do a timeline and email it to info@ and say, hey, I was on the show with Jim. He asked me to forward this so that I could talk to Andrew, and then ask them to send me the email and I'll set it up.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. We're grateful.
Yeah, just tell me your initials so that I know when the email comes.
M.
Got it. All right. Thank you so much. Yep. Have a great day.
Thank you, sir. And you too. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Of course, Princess Lizzie, not Nurse Lizzie, Nurse Laura and Princess Lizzie, they should have their own show. But anyway, Princess Lizzie's one of our favorite NIWs from overseas. And she points out that these layoffs are indirectly affecting so many people. Yes, they are, including the people that his research would have saved. But we're fucking idiots because we're not inspecting milk anymore because we've got a fucking nut named Robert Kennedy running the Department of Health, or whatever it is that he's in charge of. I mean, this guy's had brain worms and was on drugs forever. And now he's making sure that we're not checking out our milk anymore. And he's making sure that measles are great again. I don't know what's up with this country. Salwa, hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. So my question was, I applied for my husband adjustment of status, and then we got an interview this at the end of May. So my question was, my husband came in through B1, B2 visa, and then when he came in first time, he came in on December, and he left the country around February. And then we went back home, and then we traveled to Japan, and then we came back. We came back around April, and then that time I was a green card holder. And then after I got my citizenship in around June, we got married in August, and then we applied for our adjustment of status. So my question was, we were dating for a long time, but immigration doesn't know. So should we say that we like after he came in, we decided to get married, and we should not say that we were dating before even he got the visa.
You should say whatever the truth is.
Okay.
What do you mean?
So even
What do you mean they don't know about the fact that you were dating? What does that mean? I don't understand.
so when he got a visa, right? He
Yeah.
put they didn't ask him if he was dating or anything. He just said he was coming here to meet family and friends.
And did he do that?
Yes.
Then I don't see a problem. But if
So
you're asking me, Jim, I've had this relationship with this fellow, and he would come and go to visit his family and friends, including me, and I'm worried about submitting evidence at my interview of that time in our relationship. I think that hurts you if you don't do it, because you have to explain how the relationship blossomed, and they're going to ask you about this anyway. So if you act all weird and try to lie about it, then they're going to come at you with knives out. But if you are honest and upfront, just say, yeah, that's what he did. He came and visited. He visited me. He visited lots of people. He did tourism. He did all this stuff. If that's all true, then just play it completely straight.
right. So because we were dating for 10 years before
Good.
he came into America and got married. But my lawyer was telling me not to say that and just say, oh, you guys recently met. And then after he came to America, you guys knew each other, but you guys started dating after he came in, and then you decided to get married. So I wanted a second opinion, because I was thinking, if we've been dating for so long, then our marriage is bona fide. It's not like fake or anything.
An actual lawyer told you that? Someone with a law degree told you that? Because that's immigration
Yes.
fraud. That's lying. That's perjury. That's a crime.
Right. Yeah, that's why I wanted a second opinion from you, that what should I do? I'm confused, and my interview is right at the corner right now.
Tell the truth, and don't bring that lawyer to your interview. Find somebody else.
Yeah, no, I'm either way not taking anybody, just two of us gonna go.
Well, I think you should bring somebody. But so then the question is, how is this thing framed in what's been submitted? Are you telling me there's no evidence of the 10 years that you guys were together?
No, she didn't let me submit anything from us from before, any pictures or anything.
Bring it all, sister.
So you're saying to get tell them the truth that we were dating, but my question is they gonna say that's a visa fraud because he didn't said he were dating or something?
Unless he actually lied to a consular official or lied to a CBP officer, the fact that he had multiple reasons for coming, including one was to see his girlfriend, that's completely legitimate.
Okay, so you on your opinion, we should say that we were dating for that long and then we decided to get married.
It's not my opinion. It's if you don't want to commit marriage fraud. If you don't want to commit marriage fraud, then tell the effing truth.
Okay. And then it should not be a problem, right?
Well, I mean, it depends how you frame it. Depends what the officer says. It depends on what the answers are to all the questions. But generally, you're under an obligation to tell the truth. The truth is the truth, and the truth, I think, will set you free, because, anything else, anything short of that, any of these games that your lawyer's wanting you to play, that's really, really bad.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you so much. That's all.
Yep, have a good day. Here we have the dumbest comment of the day. RFK or Fauci doesn't matter. Both are knuckleheads that the public believes without any questioning. This is completely wrong. Dr. Fauci saved this country from a disease that Donald Trump did nothing to protect us from. Dr. Fauci is a hero. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has no business running a dog clinic, much less being responsible for the health of all the Americans in the United States. So this wins. Borchelle wins. Dumbest post of the week. All right, let's go to Bobson. Hello.
Hello, Jim. Can you hear me?
I can. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for taking my call. So I have a really quick question about the F1 and TPS related, like work authorization related question.
Great.
So I used the TPS in the past to work, and I didn't notify my DSO about it, like having the TPS. So now I realize that it might have an issue with my F1 status. So I am considering to disclose it to my DSO because when I researched online, I saw that if I disclose it, they can include the work that I had into my I-20, which would technically be the same as the SSR. So that's my consideration, but I want to know what the implications would be. Would I be with my F1 status be terminated? Are they required to terminate my F1 status if I disclose this kind of things? Or
So,
basically,
what was the start date on the work authorization card that you got through TPS?
So it was in, I believe it was in June 2023. So I didn't work out of that time. So I get my EADS, then I started working. So I didn't work without,
I just want to make sure. So I just one question at a time, okay?
Sure.
So June 2023, you received an EAD through TPS.
Mhm.
Since getting that EAD through TPS, have you ever used it to work?
Yes, I used it.
You used it and you worked.
Mhm.
How much time did you work, say, over the last 2 years?
I only worked for like 2 months in the summer season, and then I continued my normal class education.
Okay. So, number one, I just wrote down in my notebook, never lie to your DSO. Okay. So, never lie to your DSO. So, what I would do if I were you, and it depends, and I don't want you to tell me what school you're at or anything like that. Okay. But you have to understand that DSOs, just like everybody else, there's a spectrum. There's those that are looking to revoke someone's I-20 the minute they get a whiff of anything wrong. And then there's ones over here who do everything possible to protect the international student. Okay. So I would assume you've had some interactions with your school's office before. Which of those extremes or where in that spectrum do you think your school or your officer falls?
Yeah, so the thing is, I wasn't trying to lie or deceive them. I thought TPS was like independent from F1, and I thought it wasn't relevant to inform them about TPS. So that was my intention. And yeah, my concern is that these was are both, they have legal requirement, and also they are trying to also help students. So that's why I am concerned about it, and I'm kind of in dilemma to disclose it. So I
Yeah,
don't know
I'm not a big fan of the retroactively amending the I-20 to make it look like your work was under that. What I would do if I were you is I would go into the office and I wouldn't say that this is something that you did or that this is even you. I would say, hey, I have I know someone who goes to this university. They're an international student, and here's what happened. What do you think would happen to them if this came to light? And just see what they say.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Don't say it's you. Say it's hypothetical. All that stuff.
I see, but yeah, I was trying to contact other DSOs, like from other universities through email, so I didn't get
No,
any
I go in to talk to
response from them.
Go in to talk to whoever your DSO is.
Yeah, but my concern is if they said they are required to terminate, then I mean, what is the action plan? I mean, if they say that, then if I didn't disclose, and if they find out somehow, maybe through my tax filing or something.
Well,
then that would be
the school won't work that
misrepresentation.
hard. This is going to come up when you apply for your next immigration benefits or your next visa. That's when this is going to come up. The DSO, they're not going to get too worked up over this. You can keep going to class, you can do OPT, but when you are asked from now on, have you ever violated the terms of your visa, or have you ever worked in the United States without authorization? You're going to have to say, well, you want to say you worked without authorization, you want to say that, but you'll have to say you violated the terms of your F1. So I don't know. I don't know if there really is an action plan to quote unquote fix it.
So what if I didn't just disclose, and if I have to interact with the USIS or like other US, let's say, I don't know, organizations, then I would just tell the truth that I worked.
Yeah.
Would that be the better option?
Yeah, but let's
For
say
example, if I disclose it in
let's say you get picked in
the
let's say you get picked in the H-1B. If you have some kind of violation of your status and you haven't left the United States and come back, then you're not going to be able to change your status in the United States. You're going to have to consular process. So this is going to have effects later when you're trying to do other things, like if you try to get an employment-based visa, or you try to change your status, or you try to get an employment-based green card, you would have to disclose all this stuff. So it all depends on what comes next.
I see.
Guys,
Thank you so much.
Yep. See you, buddy. All right. We got time for a couple TikTok questions. Just filed my naturalization after 22 years with criminal record. Does the status mean anything? Mine is F33. That's just the kind of green card that you have. Is there a way to pay for expediting a spouse work visa, applying for residence from an H-1B? There is. They have expanded premium processing. I don't know if you mean at USCIS or the embassy. It would depend on what you're asking. All right. Let's go to Noman. Hello, Noman. Noman, you're on mute, or we can't hear you at least. Something's up with your mic. All right. Let's go to Jay. Hello, Jay.
Hey, Jim. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I have a question for you. Next month, I have N4 an interview. Okay.
Yep.
So I've been married for 9 years, and we just filed for my N400 because I got my green card last 2022 in January.
Okay.
Okay. And the interview is scheduled for next month. But meanwhile, me and my wife got separated, and we are in the process of divorce or something.
I'm sorry.
You know, what we do with this case? Like,
So
should we go for the interview? Like,
what's the receipt date?
Receipt day was November 27, 2024.
Oh, so it just got filed.
Yes.
And so how long have you lived together altogether?
9 years and 2 months.
There's really no question that that's a legit marriage. It's just one that's sort of fallen apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you need to do is did you file the old 751 with a lawyer or by yourself?
No, like I was here for, undocumented, then we did waiver, and then went for back home, then we did 601, waiver again. So what didn't consular process was a long time process. So it took like almost like so many years.
Okay. So okay. But when you filed the 751, did you use a lawyer or did you file it on your own?
No, we didn't file for 751. We just did I-130. And then after I-130, we did for a 601 waiver.
Oh, that's all. So you don't have a green card yet.
I'm sorry?
You don't have your green card yet. I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
No, I do have a green card. I have a 10-year green card.
Oh, 10-year green. Oh, duh. Sorry.
I adopted a 10-year green card on January 2022 because the process is quite longer.
January of 2022. And so in November of 24, that's when you filed for citizenship.
Right.
Got it. Sorry. I should have paid better attention. I would withdraw that N400 unless I would withdraw that N400. Has somebody filed for divorce?
Yes.
Yeah. So withdraw the N400 and then you'll just reapply on the 5-year rule.
So not recommended to go for the interview and the interview go and tell them like we are not together anymore or something like that.
It can't be approved.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Technically, it could be approved, but you'd have to be married all the way up until the ceremony, and they're not going to give you a ceremony if they know you're going through a divorce.
Got it. All right. Thanks, Jim.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Good luck, buddy. All right. Hina points out that I have some some TikTok questions. Julie says, does signing a post-nuptial affect an I-751 to remove conditions from the green card? No. USCIS generally wouldn't know about that. Vince says, what happens if my I-601A is approved and I don't register? I guess that means register. You don't register with the alien registration requirement. I would talk to a lawyer before not registering, because you're going to need to get that approved, or you got the 601A approved, but you're going to still need help when you go overseas. And if you don't register, that could be a reason not to let you back in. So talk to your lawyer before that. I-130 pending. Do we need to register my lawyer? I already talked about that. I submitted my I-751 conditions, but no letter has been received. Do you have proof of delivery? Did they cash your check? Those are the big questions. I filed taxes jointly with ITIN. However, on the application, it states unemployment. What should I do? You should be honest in everything that you file with whatever government agency you're dealing with. Chloe, would I have an issue getting citizenship if I have citations? 1 seatbelt 3 years ago, window tint 2 months? No. Failure to pay a fare 10 years ago? No, that should be fine. Stanley Petit, little Stanley, if I have F1 status and used TPS EAD in the past. Oh yeah, we just talked to Stanley. Okay. All right, everybody. We are just about over time. I will take one more call and we'll go to EJ. Hello, EJ.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much, first of all. So I have a few questions. My first one is really quick. I am here, I have a U visa currently, and I am currently waiting, hopefully, to be approved for my I-485. And my mother is visiting me. Is that going to be a problem, like when she comes in? When they ask her, like, well, who are you visiting, or where are you going to stay?
She already has her visa?
Yes.
Has she come before?
Many times, yes.
Has she left on time?
Yes.
And when you came, how did you enter the United States?
That's a complicated story. I don't know if we have time for that. I've been here 22 years.
Just generally, did you have a visa?
I did, but I was stopped at the port of entry.
Yeah.
They took my visa. They took my kid's passport. She's an American citizen. They canceled my visa and told me they were going to deport me. And then that night, they said, oh, you should go to a hotel for the night.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a wild, crazy case.
That's where the U visa comes from.
No, well, the U visa came because I was a victim of domestic violence.
I'm sorry.
Right before he passed away, funny enough. 2 weeks before I went to see an attorney, found out that I qualified for VAWA.
Yeah.
Told that I was going to have to testify. I agreed to go ahead. He died 2 weeks later. I was devastated because, like, now my immigration is jerked. I mean, it was one of those cases where I didn't know what was happening to me until it was like just way too late. At that point, I had already had 2 kids, was in a shelter system, couldn't really get help from the shelter system because at that point they didn't offer help to people who were undocumented. Found out he passed away. Found out or thought I didn't qualify anymore. Never went to see that attorney. Saw a whole host of other attorneys. No one ever helped me except for one other attorney who our sons were in the same class, and the kids had a little accident, and we just got into talking, found out she was an immigration attorney, found out, hey, you can still qualify for a U visa. You know, 8-9 years later, got the U visa. Here I have it, adjusted status as soon as I was able to.
Yeah, and now you're just waiting.
Now I'm just waiting. Yeah.
In answer to your question, as long as your mom's honest and saying I'm coming to see my daughter, I think that'll be the end of it. I don't think anything's going to happen. She should be fine.
Okay. Second question. Both my kids, I have Irish twins. One's about to be 22 and the other's about to be 21. In the event that for some reason my I-485 is not approved, would my kids be able to petition for me?
Are they U.S. citizens?
Yes, they are.
One of them's already 21?
My daughter's already 21, yeah.
Yeah,
she's gonna be 22.
You should have filed the day after after she turned 22.
My attorney advised me that if we if we went that route, because I already had the U visa, that it would open up a host of whole ordeal that I wouldn't want to necessarily deal with. Yeah, so here I am talking to you.
You could be waiting a long time for that U visa to turn into a green card. And
Mhm.
you have a valid entry, right?
Well, now I do. I had to pay a fine. I got a waiver, and I have an I-94 now.
Well, I would never second guess your attorney based on this little phone call that we've had, because obviously it's an extremely complicated case.
It is incredibly complicated.
It
Yes.
is. It is. So generally, but man, I just love how clean a kid filing for their mother is.
Yeah, and I am their only surviving parent.
Yeah. I mean, I defer to your lawyer. It sounds like they've gotten you, and this is the same lawyer that told you could apply for the U.
Yeah, she
knows her stuff. She knows her stuff.
I've spent thousands of dollars talking to all kinds of other attorney. Nobody batted an eye. I wish I knew you earlier.
That's okay.
My God.
It's okay. Hey, she's doing a good job. It's all good. But I would seriously, I would do two things. I would do a Freedom of Information Act request from every.
I have one already. I had one initially before I did it through. So I went back to school. It's been eons, but I'm getting my degree, and it was like 4 pages long.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, this was prior to the U visa.
Yeah.
So it was like 4 pages long. Yeah, that was it. It was every attorney that decided was like, this is a little strange.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, good luck, EJ. Keep us posted, okay?
Thank you so very much. Have a nice day.
You too. All right, everybody. That'll do it. What time is it? Oh yeah, I got to go. I got a meeting. Hope you guys all have a great day. I will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's show will be another car show at 5 p.m. Central. 5 p.m. Central tomorrow. Hope you guys all have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, everybody on TikTok. Thank you, Hina, for your help. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm great about that, other than trying to help people who are in the state of the